See this as a chain now. So these auto component suppliers are being supplied. Auto component manufacturers are supplying to OEMs, who in turn are receiving from other tier 2 auto component suppliers and so on. So this is, and these are all the members of ECMA's database. So, and some of them are actually raw material suppliers. Some of them could be steel manufacturers and aluminum manufacturers and so on. Some of them could be like HM, which are using those to manufacture. So this is across that, and in fact, in the very first slide I had said, some of them are raw material suppliers, some of them are actually, they call themselves OEMs, okay, even though they are in that, they are in the list of auto component manufacturers. So it is across the board, and again, you need to see that as a stages of chains. Some of them are supplying to some others in the database, in the responses.
So can I extrapolate your findings and to say that these organizations are more engaged in firefighting with respect to input, and there isn't much time devoted to output, which means what they develop and the and the innovativeness and flexibility?
No, I will say this way, that whatever responsiveness they are able to provide, they view that the biggest constraint to that is coming from what their suppliers are able to give it to them. They are not viewing the market as a problem, they are viewing the suppliers as a problem. Okay, now this needs to be further looked at as to how come, because on one hand you are saying that the market variety is growing, people are asking for shorter supplies and so on. On the other hand, all the problems you are attributing to on the supply side. So what is, if this analysis is correct and if this approach is correct, then one has to look at on that side.
So which means there is no emphasis on manufacturing competitiveness, really speaking. They are more bothered with somehow getting the input material. I mean, measuring themselves.
No, remember, responsiveness is a key dimension of manufacturing competitiveness. Just today morning, we heard that today it's all about flexibility. That is, of course, the responsiveness. So if you are able to be responsive, then other criteria about competitiveness, in fact, that is one of the biggest thing. And then, so from that perspective, it is important to be responsive. And what is coming in the way, this is trying to tell you.
I am Jay Prakash. My question is whether this model includes any parameter which will account for variations in sizes of the organization.
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, the problem is, you see, if one would like to take into that account, actually, variation in sizes, also variation in tiers. As I said, there are various tiers I have, but then the size of data becomes so small that whatever you get out of it, it becomes even more questionable. So, but that's a point, and one should be looking at. In fact, I looked at various indicators just to see if I'm not saying something too wrongly here. I looked at them with respect to how they vary across tiers. And the variation was not much, thank God. And so the analysis goes through. But that's a question. I mean, sizes and tiers. I mean, the situation faced by raw material supplier versus tier 1 supplier obviously are going to be different. But in the responses, indicator responses, I did not see much. I did not report it here, but I did not see much difference, so I went ahead with this line of thinking. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.